Hi Neet Aspirants, welcome to Vari Medical Academy. Vari Medical Academy சார்பாக அனைத்து விதமான டாபிக் சார்ந்த ஒவ்வொரு வீடியோவும் இனி வரும் நாட்களில் உங்களுக்கு வரும். உங்களுக்கு இதை சார்ந்த சந்தேகங்கள், கேள்விகள் எதுவாக இருந்தாலும் கமெண்ட்ஸில் பாஸ் பண்ணுங்கள். எங்கள் எக்ஸ்பர்ட் ஃபேக்கல்ட்டி மெம்பர்ஸ் போடுற வீடியோஸ் பிடிச்சிருந்ததுன்னா ஷேர் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. அந்த வீடியோ ரெகுலராக உங்களுக்கு வரணும்னா சேனலை சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. தேங்க்யூ. Wish you all the best.
Good morning students. Today I am going to explain heat capacity. Heat capacity, specific heat capacity, molar specific heat capacity, the relation between Cp versus Cv, Cp minus Cv equal to R, and degree of freedom for atomicity of gases. In my first video I explained the just what is system and types of systems, and next intensive properties, extensive properties, and next one is thermodynamic properties completed. And today class heat capacity, right? Heat capacity, that is C, we can denote it as C. The heat capacity of the substance, heat capacity of the substance, the amount of heat required, the amount of heat required to raise the temperature, the amount of heat required to raise the temperature 1 degree, that is called 1 degree or 1 Kelvin, 1 degree centigrade. Heat capacity of the substance, the amount of heat required to raise the temperature through 1 degree, that is called heat capacity. Now heat capacity we can write C is equal to Q by delta T. Q by T we can write it, no problem. Q by T or C is equal to Q by delta T. Here is Q, the amount of heat absorbed, the amount of heat absorbed. Amount of heat absorbed means positive. The system is absorbing heat means positive. Now delta T means raise the temperature. Actually delta T means T2 minus T1, raise the temperature. This is called heat capacity. Now we can write it dq by dt also. C is equal to dq by dt. That is also heat capacity. C is equal to dq by dt. This is called heat capacity. What is heat capacity? The substance, heat capacity of the substance, the amount of heat required to raise the temperature through 1 degree, that is called heat capacity. C is equal to Q by delta T. Now C equal to dq by dt. Small change. What is the D? Small d means small change in temperature, small change in heat. This is called heat capacity. Now next one we can write it C is equal to Cv is equal to dou U by dou T at constant volume. Cv is equal to molar specific heat capacity at constant volume. Cv is equal to dou U by dou T at constant volume. Next to Cp is equal to dou H by dou T at constant pressure. We can write it easily dq by dt. We can write qv, don't write dq, qv by dt, and here qp by dt. Remember, cv is equal to dou u by dou t. What is dou u? Du means change in internal energy. What is dou h? Change in enthalpy. dh, we can write dh. You have to remember, cv is equal to dou u by dou t. We can write du is equal to cv dt. Du is equal to cv dt. dh is equal to cp delta t. Delta t means small d means small change. Capital, if you delta means large change. Large change in temperature. You have to remember this one, qv by dt and qp by dt, at constant volume, at constant pressure. Heat at constant volume, heat at constant pressure. Next, specific heat capacity. What is specific heat capacity? Write down, specific heat capacity. The specific heat capacity, the amount of substance, the amount of heat required, the amount amount, the amount of heat required to raise the temperature, of 1 gram of substance, 1 gram of substance through 1 gram of substance through 1 degree centigrade, 1 degree centigrade or 1 Kelvin. That is called specific heat capacity. What is specific heat capacity? The amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of substance. I am taking 1 gram. If you are taking 1 kg also, no problem. 1 gram of substance through 1 degree centigrade or 1 Kelvin. That is called specific heat capacity. Now specific heat capacity, C is equal to Q by, here is m delta T. What is the Q? Amount of heat required. C is equal to Q by m delta T. M is equal to, what is the mass of the substance? How much I am taking? 1 gram of substance. And the temperature, rise in temperature 1 degree or 1 Kelvin. 1 gram of substance through 1 degree. The amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of substance through 1 degree or degree centigrade or 1 Kelvin. Now write Q is equal to, what is the formula? Q is equal to, this side means C into M into delta T. Now Q is equal to C into M. Delta T means T2 minus T1. What is C? C means specific heat capacity. And what is T2 minus? Means delta T means, and a change in temperature, T2 minus T1. What is M? M, if you take grams or kg also. I am taking gram. What are the units of specific heat capacity? Actually heat in joule by a mass in gram, and temperature I am taking Kelvin. Now what are the units? Joule gram inverse and Kelvin inverse. These are the units of specific heat capacity. Specific heat capacity, the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of substance to 1 degree centigrade or 1 Kelvin. Next one is molar specific heat capacity. Molar specific heat capacity. Right, the students? Molar specific heat capacity. In this molar specific heat capacity, the amount of heat required, to raise the temperature, of the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 mole of substance, 1 mole of gas or 1 mole of substance, 1 mole of substance through 1 degree centigrade or 1 Kelvin. That is called molar specific heat capacity. Here is small change, 1 mole of substance, 1 gram of substance, previous specific heat capacity. The amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 mole. Here I am taking 1 mole. Now, molar specific heat capacity, MSH, molar specific heat capacity at constant volume, that is equal to Q by N delta T. CV equal to Q by N delta T. If you take QV is equal to, what is the formula? NCV delta T. Next, molar specific heat capacity at constant pressure. Now that is equal to Q by N delta T. Now what is the what is the constant? QP is equal to N Cp delta T. What is Cp? Molar specific heat capacity at constant pressure. What is Cv? Molar specific heat capacity at constant volume. What is N? Number of moles. Here is 1 mole I am taking. N is the number of moles. Delta T means change in temperature. At pressure constant, heat at constant pressure, heat at constant volume. How to write this? Molar specific heat capacity at constant volume, Q by N delta T. QV is equal to NCV delta T. These are the molar specific heat capacity. Understand, student? The amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 mole of substance through 1 degree centigrade or 1 Kelvin. This is called molar specific heat capacity. Next one, the relation between Cp versus Cv. The relationship versus, right ma? Relationship between Cp versus and Cv versus Cv. What is Cp? Molar specific heat capacity at constant pressure. What is Cv? Molar specific heat capacity at constant volume. Now write one formula. D delta U is equal to and Cv delta T. And delta H is equal to Cp delta T. Remember this formula, delta U is equal to, in the initial I am writing in this class, Cv is equal to dou U by dou T. Now delta U is equal to Cv dt and delta H is equal to Cp delta T. Now what is the formula, students? Delta H is equal to delta U plus delta PV. Delta PV. Now PV is equal to what is the formula? RT, nRT. PV is equal to nRT. We can take PV equal to RT. Now write delta H is equal to delta U plus delta RT. Delta RT. Now I am writing delta H is equal to delta U plus R delta T. R delta T. Now write what is delta H, students? Delta H is equal to Cp delta T. Right. Cp delta T, that is equal to delta U. Change in what is the delta U? Change in internal energy. U means internal. Delta H, change in enthalpy. Now this is Cp delta T plus R delta T. Next, Cp delta T, that is equal to, which one is a common term here? Delta T. Delta T common, that is equal to Cp plus, here is not Cv, sorry. Delta H is equal to Cp delta T. Delta is equal to Cv delta T plus R delta T. Now write delta T common, delta T. Now Cv plus R. Cv plus R. Delta T cancel. Now what is the formula? Here I am writing Cp is equal to Cv plus R. Now Cp minus Cv is equal to R. For 1 mole of ideal gas, for 1 mole of ideal gas, what is the relation between Cp and Cv? Cp minus Cv is equal to R. Don't confuse, students. Here simple relationship between Cp and Cv. First I am writing delta U. Delta U equal to Cv delta T. Next, delta H is equal to Cp delta T. Now delta H place I am writing delta H is equal to delta U plus R delta T. This is the formula. From this one we are to get here. Now delta H place substitute this Cp delta T. Yes, Cp delta T. And delta U place Cv delta T. R delta T. What is the common factor here? Delta T outside. Cv plus R. Now Cp delta T. If you coming this side, this one delta T cancel. Cp is equal to Cv plus R. Cp minus this side means Cp minus Cv equal to R. For 1 mole of ideal gas, what is the relation between Cp and Cv? Cp minus Cv is equal to R. These are the relation between Cp and Cv. Next one is Cp by Cv. Cp by Cv, that is equal to gamma. Gamma means Poisson's ratio. Poisson's ratio. What is explained about gamma? Gamma explain about atomicity of gas. Gamma explain about atomicity of gas. For example, we can discuss atomicity of monoatomic gases, degrees of freedom. What is F? Degree of freedom. Degree of freedom for monoatomic gases I am taking monoatomic gases. For monoatomic gases, for example, what are the example? Helium, neon or argon. In this gases, monoatomic gases, now F is equal to degrees of freedom is equal to 3. If you take diatomic gases like oxygen and H2 and N2 and F2, For these gases, the degrees of freedom is equal to 5. Next one, if you take polyatomic gases, more than 2 means O3 I am taking, O3. In this O3, polyatomic, F is equal to degrees of freedom is 6. But in physics we can take degrees of freedom different, that is vibrational or rotational, but you have to consider in chemistry F is equal to 6. F is equal to degree of freedom and Cp by Cv is equal to gamma, Poisson's ratio. Now what is the formula, students? Cv is equal to F by 2R. Now degrees of freedom for monoatomic gases, Cv is equal to F value 3 by 2R. If you take diatomic gases, Cv is equal to 5 by 2R. If you take polyatomic gases, Cv is equal to 3R. What is the formula? You have to remember Cv is equal to F by 2R. These are the Cv values for F by 2R. Next to Cp is equal to, what is the formula? Cp is equal to R plus Cv. Now Cp is equal to R, Cv means F by 2R. Now common factor we can take Cp is equal to, R is outside, F by 2 plus 1 R. Cp is equal to F by 2 plus 1 R. This formula we can use it. Now for example, Cp value for monoatomic gases means 3 by 2, that is 5 by 2 R. For monoatomic gases, 5 by 2 R. If you take diatomic gases, Cp of monoatomic, if Cp of diatomic gases, that is equal to 5 by 2, that is 7 by 2 R. For polyatomic gases, Cp is equal to, in this 202, 6 plus 2, 8 by 2, 4 R. These values are Cp. This is the Cp of monoatomic, Cp of diatomic, Cp of polyatomic. This one is the monoatomic, 3 by 2R, 5 by 2R. Here is not 5 by 2R, no? 7 by 2R. This is the monoatomic of Cv. It is a diatomic, and this is the polyatomic. Next, we can take one by one, we can discuss. Right, first, first one is the degrees of freedom, F value, F one side. Next one is the Cv. Next one is the Cp. And next one is the Cp by Cv is equal to gamma. Cp by Cv is equal to gamma. This is Poisson's ratio. In this, first write down degrees of freedom. What is the monoatomic gases, students? Monoatomic gases means that is the zero group elements. Monoatomic gases, helium, and F value is equal to 3. If you take diatomic gases, in diatomic gases F is equal to 5. In polyatomic gases the F is equal to 6. These are the first right F. What is the F? Degrees of freedom. F is equal to monoatomic, diatomic, and polyatomic. If you take a Cv value, tell me. Monoatomic gases 3 by 2 R. If you diatomic gases 5 by 2 R. Next to Cv is equal to 3 R. Formula you can write Cv is equal to F by 2 R. This is the formula. Next to Cp. Cp, what is the formula? Cp is equal to F by 2 plus 1 R. F by 2 plus 1 R. What is the monoatomic gas? Monoatomic gas Cp 5 by 2 R. Next, diatomic 7 by 2 R. Next to Cp 4 R. Now take here Cp by Cv. What is the Cp value? 5 by 2. Cp 5 by 2 by Cv value 3 by 2. Now 2 cancel. What is the answer? 5 by 3. 5 by 3 means here is 1.3 that is 1.66 will come. 5 by 3 1.66. Now here is 2 cancel means 7 by 5 that is 1.40. 1.40. We can check it. 5 and 7. 5 1 ja 5. 5 after 2. Here is point we getting. 5 4 ja 20. That is equal to 1.40. Next one. Here is 4R by Cp by Cv. Cp by Cv. 4 by 3. 4 by 3 means 1.33. These are the gamma values. These are the gamma values. Don't confuse. We can write, I can erase this one. F value monoatomic gases, F is equal to 3. Diatomic gases, F is equal to 5. And polyatomic gases, F is equal to 6. Next, Cv. How it is coming? Cv F by 2 R. F value monoatomic gases 3 by 2 R. Here is diatomic gas 5 by 2 R. Next, polyatomic 6 by 2. 2 3 ja 6 3 R. Next, Cp. Cp formula F by 2 plus 1 R. F value, F is equal to 3. Here is you put 3. 2 1 ja 2. 3 plus 2 5 by 2. 5 by 2. Here is 7 by, here is 4. Now Cp by Cv is equal to gamma. These are the values. Which one is the more gamma value? Gamma monoatomic greater than gamma diatomic and gamma triatomic. No, not triatomic, polyatomic. Polyatomic gases is the least because monoatomic, what is the value? Gamma 1.66 and what is the diatomic? 1.40 and polyatomic 1.33. These are the ratios of gamma. You can directly, gamma can be calculated. Gamma is equal to 1 plus 2 by F. Gamma is equal to 1 plus 2 by F. Directly gamma value we have to write it. For example, I am taking monoatomic gas. Monoatomic gas. For monoatomic gas, what is the F value? F is equal to 3. Now substitute here 3. Gamma is equal to 1 plus 2 by 3. Okay na? 3 1 ja 3. Gamma is equal to 3 1 ja 3 plus 2 by 3. Now 3 plus 2, gamma is equal to 5 by 3. 5 by 3. Gamma is equal to, directly you have to remember this equation. You have to, don't calculate the Cp and Cv, just gamma, direct to 5 by 3 will get. Use this formula. This is the very important formula. Gamma is equal to 1 plus 2 by F, and no need to derive this, just gamma 1 plus 2 by F. F is equal to degrees of freedom. And thank you, and watch my videos and subscribe it. Thank you.